we're actually subjecting our biceps to a tremendous amount of stretch, even when we're fully lengthened out, since it's pulling up against gravity. And I just think that that is such a beautiful thing, because that's basically just letting us get that maximum amount of weighted stretch under a large amount of tension. And whenever you can do that, you know that you're doing something right. Your biceps and triceps are antagonistic, meaning when one is being worked, the other one is inherently resting, since they are on opposing areas of the arm. And therefore, I think that they are very well suited to be superset. So today's workout is just going to be 2 amazing supersets that you may want to end up trying, because I think that they're phenomenal. And why wouldn't you want to superset arms? You're just saving time and not really losing anything. This first superset is amazing because you are highly stable and you still get the free range with dumbbells. What do I mean by that? Well, when you were doing the preacher curl variation, for example, you are able to fully extend your elbow, but also when you're flexing and engaging the biceps, you can do a little bit of supination. So rotating the pinky more outward like this. And by doing that, that's just completing one of the functions of the biceps. Not only are you getting that elbow flexion to shorten the biceps, but you're also getting that elbow supination, which is just going to complete the contraction even further. And on top of that, when you are fully out like this, you are fully lengthened. So you're also getting a stretch position under maximum tension. And additionally, by being locked into place, like having your armpit kind of like locked down with your body weight on top of it, it's minimizing shoulder activity. Of course, you can kind of shrug, you can kind of do a little bit of flexion with the shoulder if you're not careful. As long as you're monitoring those things, then you can really just focus on the muscle group at hand, which is the biceps. Once you are approaching failure, you can use your other arm, since it's a unilateral lift, as a support. I'm sure that you saw that in the clip, where I'm actually using my other hand just to be able to push past that failure threshold up to there and beyond. And of course, we were supersetting the bicep exercise with an overhead dumbbell tricep extension, just like this. And I like doing it this way because you have this back support, which is the pad, so that you don't have to worry about core engagement being the limiting factor. So you can just focus in on your triceps. And additionally, since we are extending from a place of humeral flexion, so we're fully above overhead, then that's actually going to be stretching the long head of the triceps, just like this long back head, which doesn't normally get put under stretch when you're doing the lift in different planes. The reason for that is just how it attaches and inserts across not only the humeral joint, but also the humeral ulnar joint of the elbow. The only form tidbit that I have for the overhead tricep extension is just to kind of like not only use the back support, but also try and keep your elbows kind of locked in. You're really going to be tempted to flare them out. But in order to get the maximum amount of engagement out of your triceps, you kind of want to try and lock them in as much as you can. Now I've shown off a variation of this superset before, but it's so great that I feel like it's worth mentioning twice. And the real kicker with this one is that it's like the opposite of the one that we started with. So instead of doing a unilateral bicep curl and a bilateral tricep extension, we're doing a bilateral bicep curl and a unilateral tricep extension. So for instance, when you're grabbing the cable like so, because of where the cable is aligned with all the way up there and where we're actually curling from all the way down here, we're actually subjecting our biceps to a tremendous amount of stretch, even when we're fully lengthened out, since it's pulling up against gravity. And I just think that that is such a beautiful thing, because that's basically just letting us get that maximum amount of weighted stretch under a large amount of tension. And whenever you can do that, you know that you're doing something right. And my little form tidbit for the bicep curls is when you're down in this position like this, don't just like let it be a spring. Really milk that bottom range, because you don't really get this same degree of a stretch on the first superset. So really milk it. Try not to bang it around. Try and do it slow and controlled and keep the tension there. And as far as the tricep extension goes, it's just the same thing as a tricep push down, only it's unilateral. When the unilateral variation, I just find that I can be more free flowing with my range of motion and really do what my biomechanics want to do. And that's just a beautiful thing, because then you can kind of like, I'm tempted to kind of have the cable go across my body and then get a peak contraction or shortened position all the way back here. And I feel like that actually kind of helps with the contraction by bringing your arm into extension a bit. And it totally makes sense given the function of the musculature. I just feel like if you are doing these two supersets, you're really getting the whole gambit of growth. You're really hitting your muscles from really all the required angles. Of course, there's like a billion different angles between, this bottom range to full humeral extension. But we're not going to hit every single angle. But these ones really cover the strong bases that you want to get out of it. So please try these. See what you think, and definitely try supersetting. If you're not going to try these exercises, just superset your arms anyway, just because it's such a time saver and you really don't lose anything out of it. See, if you were supersetting something like chest and back together, then you're probably going to be in for a world of hurt, just because those are compound lifts and they're using so many muscles. But since with this, we're just supersetting these little baby muscles and we're just doing isolation lifts that are only working on one joint, then it's really not as fatiguing and you can totally get away with it. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed this one. Stay tuned for another one. Bye.